So the Saints report to training camp tomorrow, July 22nd, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We made it. We have officially made it. Football is back. And I just want to give my thoughts on the quarterback competition. My last thoughts on the quarterback competition going into training camp. You know, I'm excited to see how things play out. And I really hope that both guys are given a fair shake. I hope that each guys are given equal opportunity to win the starting job. I hope that it is an even playing field. Now, with that being said, there are some things we have to take into consideration on why that may not be the case. Number one, stuff we've talked about before is it seems like Tyler Shough is handpicked from Kellen Moore. And right off the bat, you're fighting through that bias if you're Spencer Rattler. Number two, more recently, is with this guaranteed contract stuff. Because at the end of the day, the NFL is a business. They're not. They are a business. Period. Right. And when you look at it like that, Tyler Shough is going to be guaranteed a lot more money than Spencer Rattler is. I mean, like millions more, like 10 million more dollars plus, I believe, in guaranteed money. So that is just something that unfortunately you have to take into consideration. And that's just the way it is, right? The guy making more money is going to be looked at more favorably. And if you pair that with all the other factors like Kellen Moore handpicking him, stuff like that, you kind of get a little bit of an uneven playing field in terms of the competition. Now, that being said, like I said, I hope that both guys are given an equal opportunity, but I do think that Spencer Rattler probably has a higher hill to climb because considering all those factors, if this quarterback competition is anywhere near like close, they're going to give the nod to Shough, right? Because again, all those things you said, he is a rookie that, you spent the 40th overall pick on, making way more money, handpicked by the head coach. They're going to go with him if this thing is even close. And I said this even before the whole guaranteed contract thing was a thing, but now that it is a thing and his contract is fully guaranteed, that's just another thing that Spencer Rattler is going to have to fight against, right? And you know, I think that again, like if it's even close, they're going to roll with Shough. So I think in order for Spencer Rattler to win this job and for him to become the starting quarterback of the Saints, I think either he has to look like absolutely phenomenal and it's not close at all, or Tyler Shough has to completely stink it up. Like that's the only way that Spencer Rattler is going to win this job. I feel like, which sucks for him, but again, it's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the NFL because at the end of the day, it is a business. And when you have all these other factors going against you that have nothing really to do with how you play on the field, then, that's what you're going to get. And, nobody really like training camp. Yeah, you get a lot of reps and you get to go against your own team over and over again, but nobody really knows how these guys are going to look until they get on an actual field, against other NFL competition. We'll get a better look at it during the preseason, but even then the preseason isn't the regular season. Teams aren't running the right defensive schemes. They're not sending pressure like they would normally. They're not game planning. So, whoever ends up winning this job, this quarterback competition in training camp, that doesn't mean it's safe, like at all. That does not mean their job is safe at all. And that's kind of a double-edged sword because, both of these guys, neither one of these guys are going to be great right off the bat. Like they are going to struggle. They're going to have struggles, period. Like number one, the roster isn't the best. Number two, they're both young, inexperienced. Spencer Rattler got experience last year, but it was playing with, a bunch of taxi drivers, for being honest. So, the thing with them struggling early on is I can see it now, like, Shough or Rattler will have a bad game, then there will be that side of the fan base that immediately is going to be calling for the other guy to start. And that's just not the way to do it, man. Not the way when you have young quarterbacks that need to be developed because they're going to have to go through those growing pains. They're going to have bad games, learn from them and come back, bounce back. Now, if you have a guy, he's making the same exact mistakes 7, 8, 9 games in a row. Okay. Yeah. Then you can start to consider it, maybe looking at the other guy and giving the other guy an opportunity. But I mean, listen, I love the Saints fan base, but we've seen it over the past, since Drew retired, whether it was Winston and Hill and, Hayner, Rattler, like it just seems like at one time the fan base is never on one guy's side, right? And that's already the case with the Shough pick. And you have half the fan base that's riding with Shough, half that's riding with Rattler. And then when either one of them have a bad game, you're going to see those people call for the other one to be benched, or the other one to be started. Um, so I would like to see us all just come together on the same page for once, and just go through the growing pains with whoever ends up being the starter, and just ride it out, and see the guy develop. But that being said, I am excited for the season. I don't really have high expectations for the Saints this year because, again, you're bringing in a rookie head coach. You don't have the best roster. I don't think I seen something from ESPN today that said they did like their annual preseason roster rankings, and they had the Saints dead last at number 32. Now, do I think the Saints have an elite roster? Nowhere close. Do I think the Saints have the least best roster in the entire NFL? Not even close. I think a lot of people, the thing with a small market football team like the Saints is, the truth is not a lot of people watch the games other than us, the Saints fans. That's just the truth. And so I don't think they understand the impact that injuries had on this football team last year. I mean, we seen the first couple of weeks when they were fully healthy, what they were able to do. Like, this is not a number 32 ranked roster, and I get it. You look at the roster, you say, oh, they're old, they don't have a ton of weapons. Well, it's like, I kind of feel okay with the weapons that we have. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just like completely biased, and, I need to get a grip, but on offense, I'm kind of cool. Like, AK last year just had one of the best years of his career, in the last few years. Like, okay, yeah, he's getting older, but we just seen that he's still able to put up big numbers given the opportunity. Would have had his first 1,000-yard season if he wouldn't have got hurt there at the end. And it's like, well, Rashid Shaheed, probably the best deep threat in the NFL. Like, did we forget about him? Like, yeah, he tore his ACL, but he's back now. We still have him. Oh, by the way, Chris Olave, one of the best young receivers in the entire NFL. He's there. He's back. Granted, hopefully he can stay healthy. But it's like, I mean, outside of that, yeah, I get it. Like, the tight end position is not the greatest, but Jawan, I mean, he's a serviceable tight end, and you got, the offensive line. Like, I have high expectations for this offensive line. I really, really do. I mean, it looks like it's going to be Banks at left tackle. You draft him or not first overall, but with your first round pick, he's going to be good, hopefully, at least if anything, if he plays anything like he did in college, he's going to be a solid left tackle. Then you move Penning to left guard. Hopefully that works out. Who knows? But then you have Eric McCoy, who is back, who was hurt last year, who is a top 5 center without a doubt. You have Cesar Ruiz, who is serviceable. And then you move Fuaga, who had an excellent year at left tackle, a position he had never played before. But now you move him back to right tackle, where he played well in college. So I think the Saints offensive line will be fine. And when you look at it like that, it's like there's just no, and again, maybe I'm being extremely biased, but there's just no way that they have the 32nd ranked roster. I mean, and then you look at the defensive side of the ball, the defensive line, not the strongest in the world, but Chase Young had a decent season. Carl Granderson had a decent season. You had Brian Bresee, who led the team in sacks. You bring over Godshaw. I mean, you draft Vernon Broughton. The linebackers, Demario Davis is still a good linebacker. Pete Werner, serviceable linebacker. You bring over Justin Reed, one of the best safeties in the league. Like, what am I missing here? Cornerback, I get, yeah, that's a weak point probably, but we don't know. Kool-Aid McKinstry, he showed flashes. He could be a great player. We don't know. And I think Alontae Taylor is due for a bounce back year because I feel like I'm on an island. I feel like I go crazy when I see people talk about Alontae Taylor. He is a good football player. I know he is in highlight reels, but he is a good football player, and I expect a bounce back year for Alontae Taylor. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong in that regard. So, I'm getting off topic now, but yeah, I'm excited for training camp. So there's a ton of other things too. You look at the running back battle, like who's going to win the job behind Alvin Kamara. Is Kendre Miller finally going to be able to stay healthy? If he is, I expect him to be that guy. And I'm really curious to see how Kellen Moore does in his first training camp running it as a head coach, his first time as a head coach. I'm really curious to see how he runs the quarterback competition. What kind of opportunities is he giving guys? Is he going to go like on a day by day basis or on like a series by series, like intraday basis on giving guys starter reps? I'm curious to see how the offensive line shakes out. I said that that's what we'll probably see with Banks at left tackle, but who knows, right? We never know, and that's the exciting part about training camp. Like I said, I'm excited about the season. I don't have super high expectations, but it does feel like refreshing, like turning a new leaf. We are out of the shadows of Dennis Allen, Kellen Moore coming over. Listen, he's got a chance, man. He's got a chance to build something and mark his own legacy. But I'm excited for the season to start. Excited to start making videos again. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Peace.